Hi, it's Jeff Lee from ET Enterprises YouTube channel and Hammerhead Housings. This video, I just got a quick idea. I'm selling these LS7 heads right here, and the customer, he had a Z06 Corvette and it dropped the valve, as many of them do. They have the issues with the valves dropping and the valve guides. So these are a set of, they're not like stock LS7 heads, but they're like the GM or Chevrolet Performance GM, official GM heads, but they're the 6-bolt for like it. These came off of a LSX 454, and they've been upgraded. They've been CNC ported. They have stainless steel stock size mainly valves. They have the big Frankenstein spring package, new guides, all that kind of stuff. So they're really nice heads. I think the LSX has a little bit thicker deck too. So, but they're basically a stock LS7 port. So the guy's question was, how do I know these are LS7 heads and not LS3 heads, because they look similar? So I don't know if I've seen a video on it. I know that a lot of LS7 people know differences, but I'm just making this to kind of answer some questions. And since I have them side by side here, I thought I'd, do this. So here, these are LS3 heads that I just picked up for a 6-liter, 823. And they have this shaft mount rocker setup. So every LS1, 2, 3, the truck heads have this rocker setup. All the rockers are on the shaft. The shaft bolts down to the head, and that keeps everything stable. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, this was kind of like NASCAR or Pro Stock technology, but with our LS stuff, modern LS stuff, and LS stuff mainly, this was, how they did it. So, very nice and stable setup. But on a LS7, every cylinder has pedestal rockers. So that's the main difference that you can see right away. These have a pedestal, these have the shaft mount setup. So that's pretty straightforward. But then, the other differences are, these are a little wider because it's hogged out, but I would say the LS7 is a little bit more raised runner, so it's a little bit directly going towards the valve. These flow a little better. I think these ones flow almost 400 CFM, CNC ported stage 1, 399 or something like that, which is crazy. So even the LS3 stock flows more than almost any other. I think it officially flows more than any big block Chevrolet, OE cylinder head made, which is pretty amazing, So and they came on trucks, and it looks like a Big Chief head. But yeah, the LS7 and the LS3 look very similar, but there's raised runners. The other difference is the rocker ratios on the LS3 and the LS1 and LS2, etc., are all 1.7 rocker ratio. So your cam, if it's for the LSX 454 example, with these rocker ratios, the cam is 600 lift. The LS7 has a 1.8 rocker ratio, and I think the cam lift goes up to 630 with that rocker ratio. So you got a little more lift, and I don't know if that is. It seems like that would be part of the reason that some of the LS7 stuff fails, but I think the valve guides and some of the valves were just bad, or some of the machining was just bad. So, but these are these have gone through the whole process of, new guides, stainless steel valves, and these have been ported. So, but that's the main difference. Raised runners, the actual pedestal mount, and then the rocker ratio is a little bit higher on LS7. So LS7s like make 505 horsepower in a Z06 from the factory and rev to like 7,000 RPM or something like that, which is pretty awesome. So yes, there are some issues with them, but when they're fixed and they run right, they're awesome. So that's what this guy's going to get. He's going to get some fixed heads, and if he wants to do an LSX block or an aftermarket block at some point, he's got the 6-bolt option. And you know, these are the LS3 stuff is just every 6-liter truck from like 2011 or 2007 and up might have had these. So you can find these a little bit more easily. They're still very similar and they still do well. The reason I am getting rid of these and not using them is because in the Monte Carlo that's outside, I am doing a carbureted LS with a dual plane because I want it to look stock, like a stock big block, and then have like the big block appearing coils or coil covers. So that's just an aesthetic thing. It'll still make a lot of power, but not like these. I mean, but it'll be close. So I don't think anybody makes a dual plane for an LS7, so I'm not even going to bother looking for one. So that's part of my decision making here. So that's all for today. That was just a quick video of, hey, what are the differences between LS7 and LS3 heads, or even LS1. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hope this helps somebody.